Hi guys, welcome to the hackathon. So for today, I'll be sharing a little bit about Model Studio, and Model Studio is your gateway to Qwen and One. So these are various models they can try out for your hackathon. They can be multimodal, Qwen VL, Qwen Omni, Qwen Image, whatnot, or video generation models or text-to-text models. Today, I'll be looking and talking a bit more about Qwen Image, ASR, Qwen VL, Qwen TTS, and whatnot models. So if I jump into it, I think the first thing to talk about is the API documentation. So in this Model Studio API documentation, the first portion that is important to you is the user guide. And I think you'll be more interested in the interface portion. In the interface portion, you can see about text generation, multimodal, speech synthesis portion. And all of these are high level, kind of one-stop shop about everything about this component. So, and they also provide, we also provide some kind of sample code that you can use here. Then if you want to go deeper dive into it, you can look at the API references here to see about the parameter calls, what to use and whatnot. So if you just to jump into it, then let me start up one of my examples. So in this case here, this is a kind of code that I wrote up that uses the image synthesis, that uses the video synthesis portion. Basically one to kind of create a simple UI. So because the video generation takes a while, so I'm just going to be generating the video first, and then later on we can come back to this. So in this case here, I'm using the Python SDK code to call, and then specifically I'm calling the image to video first frame with these parameters here, and I'm calling it through Streamlit. So later we can come back to that. I just wanted to show you another few other examples. So this one here that I'm going to show you is the from our fun ASR. So this is a real-time speech recognition. So the sample code I'm going to get is from here. I made a little bit of changes. So essentially, this one allows you to speak to it, and then it'll record the ASR of the voice. So for all of this, right, you do have to put in a dashcode API key. I think this will be given to you subsequently. So the first portion is to do a ASR. So in this case here, you can just copy the code that I had just now from the web page, and then what you'll do is open up this Python SDK, and then it will try to recognize what is being spoken. Right. Hello, can you hear me? Yes. Yeah, so it can recognize what I'm saying here. Then let me just stop this and clear all. Then another one that we have is also text to speech. So in this case here, I'm using this Qwen 3 TTS text to speech, and the sample code is actually taken from here. So this was the real-time inferencing, real-time ASR. Then now this is the speech synthesis portion, Qwen 3 TTS speech synthesis. I'm just copying this code chunk here, and I'm asking it to put in a text here and ask it to try out the models. I'm using Qwen 3 Flash. So likewise, we need to put the API key and then specify it as the dashcode API key and then call it. Sorry.
Today we are talking about Qwen and Wan models. It's great. Let's try it out.
So I managed to get it to read out this sentence and generate the audio. Right. Okay, so for the next one, so I show you ASR, TTS. But actually TTS has another capability called voice clone. So this voice clone capability is actually this one here. And what it allows you to do is kind of input another file, MP3, M4A file, and then it allows you to voice clone. First clone the voice, then after that use it to kind of speak something else. So the source code that I'm using is also from this example here. I made a bit of changes. Instead of using the 2026 one, I'm using the 2025 11/27 one. And then let me see. Yeah, here it is. So this is the voice I'm trying to clone. Just give it a listen.
Gave me the space to find my own way. But you are right, Atreus. She was my guide. Our actions in Alfheim may not bring peace.
So it's actually the God of War audio, a game I used to play. And then what I'm asking you to do is to synthesize this line of text. I made some changes to the model itself, and I put in the file to a local file, which is here. I also put in my API key, and I'm calling it here. So let's.
I'm an audio generation model created by Alibaba, speaking to you now from Model Studio for this hackathon.
Yep, so that I have done both the ASR, the TTS, and the voice clone TTS. Now let's go back and see about the video that was generated. So this was, I put in this image and give it this prompt itself, and this is the video that's generated.
Shining bright in the night with my voice and my light. Follow rhythm, feel the beat, let your heart start to leap. I'll sing it loud, I'll make it true, stream it.
Yep, so that is something that you can also do with one. Let me see what else I have. Okay, so the next one is to do example for Qwen VL. So in this case, Qwen VL is a reasoning model, visual reasoning model. So you can ask it for certain questions for visual aspects and then have it to respond. So in this case here, I'm asking it to solve this particular question. Let's see what it is here. Right, so it's a Chinese question about a math question basically. Right, so in this case, another way to call it is not through the Python SDK or Java SDK, but to call it through basically calling it through HTTP requests. So in this case here, I will paste both this request as well as the HTTP request. In this case, because it's streaming, it will respond with the streaming tokens. So if you want to do a streaming kind of real-time response one, you can actually do that, and it will give you the various tokens, but you need to stitch together these various tokens. Right, then it will complete at the end, but the whole thing you need to stitch together. So if you don't want to have too many of them, you can put in without the stream through, without these portions, and this is another example. So this one is an image. Image of a dog and a girl, and then we are asking a question of what this image is about. In this case, I don't put streaming through. That's another way to call it. I'm still calling via HTTP API request. In this case, it responds in one chunk, telling me what the image is about. So this is another way to call it, HTTP API request. And then another one that I'll also be showing is the Qwen image. So Qwen image is another of our generation model. It generates text to image, or it can do image references and image editing. So you can put in additional images, make it combine, or make edits to it, and that's the way. So if I were to go, likewise, you have to put in your API key, and then you can make a HTTP request, or you can also do it via Python SDK and whatnot. So if I were to do this via HTTP request, so for the Qwen image and some of the others, there's a two part to the request. So in this case here, when I make the request here, I'm trying to create an image about a healing style hand drawn poster about 3 puppies playing with a ball. Right, so in this case, this one will respond with a task ID, and I need to copy that task ID and then make another curl request to retrieve the object itself. So I would say for Qwen image and one, in the HTTP request you need to do 2 parts, whereas for Qwen VL and most of the other chats you can just do it at one go. So in this case here, I'm doing a curl request, and then it's telling me that it's doing this. At the end, it will tell me the URL is this URL. So when I go and pull the URL, then I get the image that is generated. So this is the image that's generated. So if I were to summarize, let me see, where am I? Okay. If I were to summarize, today I walk you through the documentation. I show you how to do speech recognition using Fun ASR, how to do speech synthesis with Qwen TTS, voice cloning. I also show you how to do visual reasoning with Qwen VL, and text to image with Qwen text to image, and I also show you how to do with one. So in all, I think these are the things that you can use for your hackathons. It can be text to text, text to image, whatnot. Let your creativity, go forward.